What were the experiences we had that we can share so other people will learn? How did you understand brand growth?
For me, one very important point is how many people talk about me, how many people refer my products. That one is one very important element that I will pay attention to my brand or brands that I work with. How many people that already bought from you refer to others? That's one very important one. And another one is how many times I buy from you is also important. Already bought from you before. Those two are the most important. Then third will come how many times people search for your brand name. Those three are core indicators or KPIs to understand if your brand is
if you have
good
a
or
brand.
not, if you have a brand or not.
Right. Searching for the brand name, right? Every time we look at a brand to work with, we always look like, what is the brand? Like, what's the search volume? When did that start?
That was when I started learning about SEO. And I see people with, oh, our SEO is doing very good. But when I check, is SEO means to be present on Google. And how are you present at Google? Is branded with your brand name? Or is it because you have cold keywords or informational keywords or transactional keywords and you are positioned there? So you bring new customers. Versus already existing customers that are brand core. So
or people that know you, right? They don't have to be
or that already know you. Yeah, exactly. So that's how I start actually understanding what brand SEO means and brand search means.
Right, because you have like organic keywords, right? You have organic search terms or organic traffic that is coming from that. That actually whatever Google says is organic traffic.
It's branded organic traffic. Because I will say that branded organic keywords can be still arbitrage keywords. Why? Because we need to understand those as, like, on our understanding, those are branded. Those should belong to the brand bucket. But what happens in Shenzhen is that people use those to turn them into cold keywords.
Like what? Like how?
Like the brand keywords. Like, let's give an example. Like Watson's brand. And then I am a traditional Google advertising team in Shenzhen. And I will go and I create some Google keyword groups when I do like cold keywords or like transactional keywords and I will add some Watson soda can. And I will blend it in the cold keywords to make it look better so then I can spend more money on those group of keywords because it has kind of a decent ROAS. But the truth is that this blend of keywords between branded and non-branded are what it's doing is giving you a fake number of performance.
Yes.
So you're kind of blending in it so then people can spend more on cold. So it's kind of tricking people to understand the numbers differently.
So that's when you say, when people say we have good SEO or we have good, then it's like a mix of everything, right? And then like SEO is one of like looking into it and seeing what are the branded keywords, right? So Watson's water. So then that means the more branded keywords have, the better is the brand or the bigger is the brand, or what? How does that relate to like brand and brand growth?
For example, let's say that your whole traffic is 100,000 and your branded search keywords is 30,000. I would say that that's a pretty decent brand SEO or brand search number. The benchmark is very different from each, right? But like I would say that 30% of your whole traffic is coming, or at least 30% of your traffic at least search you 30,000 times on Google. That means that you have a strong name, brand name. The opposite also happens. That's why brand is like the brand name. Let me give you the other example that is not directly correlated to revenue, because we have the arbitrage businesses like Amazon that they have 100,000 traffic on Amazon, but their brand search is 500. So it's like they don't have any brands.
Because no one knows them.
Because nobody knows them, because they're selling on Amazon, and maybe people believe that they're buying that even directly from Amazon, or they're just another soda can, but they have 500. And maybe they're making the same revenue, but they're two different business models.
So then people, like, of course people know them, the people that bought, but only the people that bought them know them. And they might not even know the brand name or might not recall it. So if I buy a massage gun or whatever, like a random product, and I don't remember the brand name, or this is the Amazon massage gun.
Correct.
Right, so you might remember the Amazon brand name.
So for example, like let's keep Watson example, is like we have the two business model. One is the branded Watson selling on Shopify, and the other one is the Watson brand selling on Amazon. Selling on Shopify, you have $100,000 sales and you have 30,000 searches a month. And on the other case, you have Watson's revenue on Amazon is 100,000, same revenue, but your brand searches is 500 a month. Both are generating $100,000 in revenue, but they're very different brand searches on each. Mm-hmm. And the perception of each customer or consumer is very different, because from somebody that goes to your page and search you on Google and go to buy your soda can and then go to your store and then buy from you, put their credit card, reads the whole, maybe they go back again to different channels and they buy from you, have a very different journey, and they will leave you the email, they will contact support, or maybe not, maybe they will buy immediately, than the other concept that is Amazon advertising for you, putting the right keyword of soda can and just providing you a can to the end consumer that maybe they know Watson, or maybe they will not know about that is Watson. And when they want to go back again, they will just go back to buy repurchase. And then that's the concept. But they will never talk about Watson, or they're not as invested in the journey as the other case. So that's why I have less searches, because on the Amazon one, you don't need to go to do any extra effort to get involved with the brand.
Right. That's definitely something we learned. So from like selling nail products where it was just drop shipping, no one knew the brand name.
Nobody.
It didn't matter, right? Like it had a brand name on it, and people always think like, oh, because it has the branding, because it has the brand name on it, now it's a brand. And that means because of now it is a brand, because it has a logo on it, now it will sell better. But that has nothing to do, like, sure, there might be a small effect in that, but that doesn't really matter compared to when you have an actual brand. Like if people actually know your name, like that is so much more strong. And I didn't know that until we start working with the first brand. Because I never even looked at it. Like branded search was never a thing, because it doesn't happen. Like if you have a dropshipping business or if you have an Amazon business, you don't have branded search. So that wasn't a thing. Yeah, that was the first one of like if people look for a brand.
Yeah. And the thing is, like what I discovered like lately is it's not that brand search doesn't happen. From day one, there is a separation between brand and arbitrage or like sales. Because let's assume again, we're starting from zero and we're gonna launch a Watson soda can in our Shopify tomorrow. And we start advertising on Facebook or Pinterest or anything. And that traffic will come to the page. Some of them will buy, some of them will not. Some of them will leave the email, some of them will bounce. But that one will still generate sort of traffic that will remember the Watson name. And maybe they will go later, oh, I want to buy that soda can that I saw a couple of days ago. Or maybe they got retargeted by that ad again. Even if it's like very sales direct marketing happening, they will be like, oh, what was that sales soda can name? I don't remember. Like, let me go back to my history search. Let me go back to my email. Let me go back. Oh, I really want a soda can. Like, and then because of the product, because of the need that they have, they're like, what was the name of that? Let me check. They go back again. They search for the soda can. And if you're doing the right thing, you will appear there because you will retarget them. And then after all
people
of that,
buy because of that.
But you still creativity from day zero. You still create sort of brand division between brand and arbitrage, and it's up to the strategies and the business that you decided to do that you can go either one. But
so they buy because of the recognition, or they're more likely to buy because of the recognition because they already know you. And if you have the arbitrage, the Amazon, then people will just know Amazon water, or Amazon business, or Amazon brand. Yeah, that was the first one.
That's a strong statement. Understands branding and brand growth. Like, it's not about if they understand or not, it's how much they understand it.
What part did she not understand about brand growth? Or what other parts did you think she does understand?
Like, I think that she understands a lot what branding is. She makes sure to send the right message, the right values, core messages, core idea of the brand and who to target, because they understand that very well. But when it comes to retention, LTV, with the customer experience, that is something that I think they lack.
It's not embedded, right?
It's not embedded in their core industry. It's upfront
like
cost,
before the first
like
purchase.
Investment.
Like before the first purchase.
Yes.
So it's like, how do we get people to recognize us better, to sell more? Or how to basically the arbitrage for each of the people, right? Because you say like the avatar Because when I think about the avatars, they had so many different ones. There's like so much, and then they shifted. They went from like tech to hipster.
And all that upfront strategy, understanding avatar, targeting the right people, getting cost of acquisition low, like they're good at it. They understand it. They are very good at crowdfunding. They know which product develop for new people and what is the demand of the product. But when it comes to product and customer experience, they're not the best at. So it's not that they don't understand, it's just that they understand it, but not enough to pay attention to that. Like they don't believe in retention. They keep pumping new products to the same people, targeting their pain points, but they don't really pay attention to the customer experience of it.
So it's like, because you know how she always talks about timing? We have to get it out now because now is the timing. Like that's most important, right? So that's really then the arbitrage. Yep. So it's like, now is the timing, now we have to do it, now is the thing. And then I know the product is like 90 out of 100%, but like, let's get it out because we have to like start rolling, right?
Yeah, the trend is so fast and we need to catch up with the trend right now. The timing is important, because a medium level or mediocre level product will be enough to catch 30% of this trend, and that one will be enough for the year. That's also brand growth, but in an arbitrage way. It's not on a brand side. That's at least what I believe.
Right.
Using branding strategies with arbitrage to build, let's call it Shenzhen brand. That's what Shenzhen brand is.
Supporting the arbitrage.
Yeah, correct.
So something that already works well, how can we paint it in the right colors to make it look even better, feel professional? So everyone is trying to look like a brand, but no one is being a brand.
Correct. Because what brand is you have such a great product and great experience, and you connect with core values of people, and therefore you refer more, you talk great about them, people perceive you a certain way, and then therefore you connect and you buy again. It's not that you don't understand brand, it's like how much you understand it and which part of it is lacking, because all of them are important. Eventually you should have sort of branding, so then people, it's easy to understand your name. It's not essential, but it's good to have a customer experience. You should have a decent one.
It's really hard to think back, like to think through the history of like what were the events that triggered us, like what were meaningful events that triggered this. I think working with the adult brand was really, really impactful because it was no direct marketing and no option to grow with direct marketing. So the only option to grow was through experience, through growth, through things. And then actually wondering about like, I think first was LTV. When I was in Hong Kong, we did the whole like presentation about that, about like LTV and how important that is, the whole concept of that. That was the first time like where I took that apart, like what means LTV, like what is that actually? Because it's like, well, if we just invest into whatever PR or KOL, it's too expensive to sell one product, but if people buy more products, then you actually make more money over time, and then you can justify the costs of that, right? That was the first time of like LTV, what does that mean? And back then it meant, okay, people buy again, people buy multiple times, so you spend the money once and then people buy again from you again and again and again and whatever, right? Like that was the effect of the brand. That was a second really, really meaningful. I think another one was like that you build fans. Like when we worked with the ambassador.
That was big as well. When we were doing affiliates, and I discovered that our biggest affiliate was already one of our core users. When we checked their like profile, because she had the email there, and by chance I was curious enough to search this email on Shopify. And I find out that she had spent over $2,000 in the store. And then it's like, oh, like, how about if we give her a call and actually try to understand like who she is, what she wants. And we figured out that she have a podcast that talks about adult experiences, about her sexual experience and how much she likes to enjoy different things. And turns out that she was promoting the brand like on her podcast by herself, getting affiliate commissions. And from there it's like, oh my God, like this is so cool. We actually create true fans because they love the product so much that we turn one client into many. That keeps bringing more clients to it. Like, so that one was a very enlightening moment.
That's also true. That's like the best form of word of mouth, where you have one person promoting it to their audience. So they're not just telling their friends, but they're telling everyone that is following them over and over and over. That was actually cool for affiliate. I think that, like, from the traditional affiliate things, it's how I started affiliate back then when we were like with Johnny. It's like looking for, was more like a PR thing. So I reach out to different blogs, to different bloggers, and then I say, okay, can I put my link here or my picture or my ad? And then you get an affiliate commission, right? So that's how I traditionally thought about affiliate, of like an exchange, right? I get the link, you get the money. Like that's the, right? We share like this. And I thought that all the companies here that use affiliates, everyone that use share sell here, found the affiliates that way. Like they did outreach to get affiliates, but that was never true. It's like always the affiliates, it was just a byproduct. It just happened. So because the brand was there and the brand listed on share sell, then people found the brand because they knew the brand on share sell to promote it. Like they used the product. It's like, oh, I'm a blogger, but I bought the product. I really like it. I want to promote it. I wonder if they will pay me a commission if I promote it. And then they go on the affiliate platforms and search it. The brand created affiliates, not the affiliates created the growth of the brand. So that was super interesting to me.
Yes.
That was a big experience.
That was a big thing as well. Yeah.
It's like all of these things are a byproduct from brand. It's not like all of these things created the business. It's like because people have brand recognition, because people had a good brand experience, then they start promoting the brand, the business for you. Yep. Like that was very interesting. I have another one on B2B of like the same principle there with like people know the brand online, people use the brand, and because the brand has branded search, people walk into stores. And then in the store, they're like, do you have this brand? And then the store owner says no. And then the next person comes in the store, like, do you have this brand? And the store owner says no. The third person comes in the store, do you have this brand? And the brand owner the shop owner looks for the brand name, and then says, hey, I want to buy from you. Can you give me a discount if I buy more? I have a store, I have a shop, like B2B. So B2B happens because the brand awareness is already there. So all of these concepts, I had no clue that is happening because, again, traditionally, I thought B2B was, I'm reaching out as outreach, right? It's like, hey, distributor, I have this product. This is my price. Do you want it? It's a good price, so you can make good money. Like that's arbitrage again, right? That's what I thought. And when then we looked at brands, it's like, oh, they're actually making no money on their Shopify. Like there's no way they with all the money that they spend in like building their brand, they don't make any money on Shopify. It's like $3 million, $4 million a year and no profit. But then because of the B2B, because of the affiliates, because of like people recognize the brand, then they come in and then they buy from the brand, and that's so much more revenue than the actual thing.
And the B2B sales for proper brands are sold at premium. They're not sold at minimum FOB, classical Shenzhen company, low cost. Like they sell at premium where they actually profit as a brand. So very interesting. Like,
of course, the store owner doesn't have to promote it. The store owner doesn't cost the store owner anything to sell it.
Correct.
Because people come anyway to the store, so he just needs to have it. He just needs to carry the product that other people know.
And you know, like following that on B2B as well, I had maybe 2015, I was doing some trading back then, like figuring it out what to do with my life. I didn't know anything about brand at all. But I can tell you that back then, Insta360 was a thing starting. They had their first 360 camera and I bought it. I fell in love with it. And I wanted to sell that to Mexico, South America, Colombia. I had a lot of distributors there. And I'm used to the standard FOB, low price cost of Shenzhen, like having enough margin for distributors. Maybe like, as I remember back then in my experience in the factory was like 30% cost of goods, 30% distributors, 30% map price. So that was the 30. When I go to Insta360 back then, they were starting, they had already a big office. I met the sales manager for South America then. The distribution was so off. Was cost of goods % 70%, margin for distributors 10%, and selling price 10%. It was ridiculous. Like there was 10% margin for me as a sales distributor, and I'm like, I don't want to sell your product. Like what? Like what is my profit? I didn't understand brand at all. But back then, if you get to work with them at that 10%, you will have grown with what Insta360 monster is now.
Yeah, they grow you.
That's the cost of not understanding brand back then. I had that opportunity to become a distributor at first hand with first line of products with Insta360.
Right. Oh, the other thing was like store setup. When before I would build a funnel or build a store like a Shopify, like a ClickFunnels, upsell, like a very salesy page was like a countdown timer with only 3 in stock left, with different bundles next to each other. So you see the best value, see the biggest discount. Mm-hmm. That's how I would build pages then. And you can like get, maybe you have a $50 product, you get up to 4% conversion rate, right? So that conversion rate is much, much better than having just a traditional like Shopify page, right? Because the Shopify page maybe have 1 or 2%, but then the funnel has like 3, 4, 5% because there's so much urgency created around that, right? And then amazing sales copy and all of that. And then when we made a page for the brand, the page that went up to was the best performing page, and we had like a 14% conversion, at least when we launched, right? In the first, when we sent all the emails and stuff, the first month had like a 14% conversion rate. And there's no way that you could ever out funnel that. It's just, you can't.
Absolutely not.
And the reason why it was so high is because people already bought a product before. So when we sent emails, people already had such a great experience with the first product that when we sold the second one, of course they bought it. Then because the brand name was already there, so the organic traffic, the people that came looking for the brand name and looked on the website and they saw the listed page on the website, they bought because like it was just there, right? And then to make it more clear who the product is for really helped. So instead of saying, this product is for everyone, and here's like use case number 1, and use case number 2, and use case number 3, how this works for you if you are this person, and this works if you're this person, and this works if you're this person, but kind of like having it for, this works if you're this person. If you're not this person, don't buy this product, buy this instead, right? To make it like very clear, this is for you if you are this person. Because normally I would not do that. I would like, try to sell it to make a case to sell it to all the different people. So even with that of like, I think that also helps. That really helped the people that were that avatar. So that one person that was a fan of the brand already, that was that specific person coming to the page. Like, okay, I'm coming to the brand because I know this brand is for me, and I'm looking at this product page, and this product page literally says this is for me. So then I buy it. So that was really impactful to learn of like how brand impact. Because then later when we work with like CRO companies, and they make an audit of the page, like when we get an audit and page over page over page was like, you should offer a warranty. Here are the 5 things that your category page need to have. It's like, none of that matters. Of course, we do A/B tests, right? And we had like a PayPal button. Shall we show the PayPal button on the product page or shall we not show it, right? And then the outcome was something like, if we show the PayPal button, more people convert, but if we don't show it, more people go through the checkout process and spend more money, right? So of course there's a difference, but there's a difference between people spend, $100 or $110. Whereas for the brand is it's whether they spend $100 once or whether they spend $1,000 in a lifetime. Like it's so different. The impact of the branding even, and what your brand is and what your brand represents and what you build as a brand experience and brand reputation, that is the thing that moves the needle when it comes to selling. Not the playing around and changing the color of the button.
The small upfront changes to arbitrage attention from people now and cash their attention at the moment.
That was huge for me. So as a copywriter, direct response marketing funnel builder, that's like the other side, that's the other spectrum of that personality. That was really impactful.
And it's also because brand is everywhere. Like, and it's hidden in small steps along the way from all kinds of businesses. So it's hard to pinpoint because it's an accumulation of so many things for email as well. Like if we go for ROI or for ROAS, the emails work in a very different way that if we're gonna build emails for a brand email, or it's a little bit different.
How so?
To, for example, the abandoned cart, the post-purchase, like email flow after somebody purchased your product. If we're looking for high conversion or ROI like positive at the moment, that's the best time to give them a discount because they already are invested, they're already hot, they're already happy, they already made the purchase, and that's the best moment for them to, already purchased. Awesome. How about if we give you an extra, because this moment you purchased from us, this one works very well for you, and let's give you an extra discount just because you bought now. If we have any moment to get them, that should be you as a direct marketer. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. That's the moment.
That will be the best time to offer them a very heavy discount, so then they can buy again, or because they already have the credit card in the line. They received the email. They're already happy. They're hot. That's the best time. Very different if we want to build them as a long-term customers. We will not ask them again to buy, but we will ask them to give us feedback to understand how was their customer experience. And if they at any point they doubt of or anything didn't resonate with them, it's a totally different ask after they give us money.
Because imagine as a customer, you get asked what you didn't like, and then the brand corrects it and sends you a better product. Or it's like, I really like the product, but I didn't like the way it shipped, or I spoke to customer support and I didn't like that. And then we reach out to that customer, say, hey, here's a gift card for your next person. I'm so sorry. And the next time when they do buy and when they do contact the support, it's fixed. When we do a second version of the product with improvements and we send them the second version as a gift, just like, hey, I remember 6 months ago you said there's this issue with the product, we fixed it, here it is. Like now you create someone that will buy again and again and again. Like you don't have to ask them, you don't have to give them any discounts. Like they will buy from you again and again, and they will tell all their friends about that experience. So that's much stronger, but it takes much longer too.
Yeah. It's a very different way of building emails as well.
Right.
As much as asking them for feedback or customer or their customer experience or journey. Like when they bought the product, or let's say after they bought the product, they receive it, and we just let them use it for a week and we ask them for feedback. Like that's also something that will be very different to ask them if we're targeting for performance marketing or we're targeting for brand building.
Same for cart abandonment. So if there's cart abandonment emails, instead of saying, hey, you left something behind, here's a discount to buy it, you say, hey, you didn't buy, tell us why. And then you make a post-purchase survey, a cart abandonment survey, where you questions like, so sorry to see you leave. What could we have done better to make you consider us? And then you get feedback from that, and then you actually change that thing. For example, if on the cart abandonment survey, people say, I wasn't sure if you have this feature because I'm looking at all these other different brands. I'm not sure if you have the feature that they have. So then if you hear that over and over, then you make it more clear on the page that you have this feature, or that you're made for them. Or they're like, oh, I really wanted to buy from you, but I'm not sure if I'm the right person, if like you're the right brand for me. And it's like, okay, who are you? And then you learn more about the customer and you make the brand look more like something that would attract your ideal customer. And then all of a sudden your conversion rate goes much higher. So instead of cashing in that, hey, here's a discount because you didn't buy, now please buy, you're getting the long-term benefit of increasing everything that you do and targeting the better people. And that goes in your copy, that goes in your ad, that goes in your picture, that goes everywhere. Now when you talk to customers, you talk to them differently, because now you know, stop buying because they have whatever,
objection.
Or whatever objection. And then you just use that objection in everything that you do, and then you get so many more people to buy. So long term.
Long-term, short-term. That's the trade. Yeah. And it applies in every channel. And it applies in every part of the funnel in marketing, in the first contact message of how it is with somebody. If it's a direct marketing video, in theory, direct marketing, what it does is that it creates the whole funnel in one single video. It creates awareness, interest, attention, desire, and action. How you invest brand into that. Like, eventually it needs to go through the whole funnel, and eventually people will fall into it or get out of it. But then you just retarget them, and then you keep pumping them back again and back again. And that constant refill, like, that's how you create by default also brand. So that one is also a way to create brand. It's not effective, but you can also create a small brand friction there from so much, repeating. If I repeat you 100%, 100 times, Watson's, you say, look, remember Watson? It's like Watson. At the second week, it's like, oh yeah, Watson. Because
you link it, you always say Watson water. Because I saw when I went to Hong Kong the other day, I saw like a woman had like a trolley to like carry groceries or whatever, and it had logos on it, chili, and it has like a chili logo, right?
Chili,
the chili like the chili pepper,
okay.
Chili pepper. And it had the name chili as a brand, but it was not it was a brand. I don't know what the brand was doing. I have no idea. So I'm aware of the brand name, Chili. I'm aware of about how the logo looks like. I have no idea what they do, right? But they got the women to take around their brand and show to the world, but you have no association. Like, you don't know. So when it's like Watson is Watson's water, Watson's water, Watson's water, right? So if you tell me again and again and again, I will remember. So the same way that if you place the ad and you're retargeting and the funnels, yes, more people will remember, but that's not as strong. So if you actually build that association through an awareness campaign where people have hot summer days, where people feel happy and sparkly, and you associate Watson's with that as a refreshing feeling. Now you associate the feeling that they want on a hot summer day with the product, rather than this product is with special water, with the special, like we have 50% more bubbles than other waters. Like that would be the direct response way, right? But then the brand way is more of a associating the feeling that you want other people to have with the product, with your name.
Correct.
So that's the stronger. Also takes longer. You can't measure the ROI directly, right? But you can measure that more people look for you, and you can measure that people are more likely to buy and higher to convert. But it's very hard to measure. Like Google Analytics doesn't give you that metric.
It's about timing, right? Like you will not start your brand initially with brand awareness. Like, I mean, you can, but it depends on what is the positioning. Like, how much is your budget? What is the goal in 3 months? Like, there are many variables. But for example, if we're starting with lower budget or restrictions,
you have to sell
location, you have to do direct marketing.
You have to.
So branding will be a second stage. But like I said, like before, is you still create some brand awareness from that by repeating it, by the friction of just repeating and repeating and repeating.
I think where people go wrong with it is that they scale this up too much, where they create the association, but in a negative way. Whereas like people start to recognize it, and it's like, oh yeah, that's the brand that ships my product late. Oh yeah, that's the brand where in the comments under the ads, everyone says they actually suck and they overpromise. Right? Then you build a negative association with that. And then then your business dies very quickly, because now the sales ads that you did that were effective in the beginning to get you up become less and less and less effective over time, and then there's nothing else you can do, and you need the next new product to like promote that. Whereas the better way, and what we should have done before as well, is to fix the experience first. So when it's like, oh shit, this thing could scale to the moon, it's like then to have the discipline of not to do that and scale your ads back to like, okay, I could scale this to $100,000 a month, but then to say, shit, like I actually should do the right thing and scale the ads back to like 20, 30,000 just to have enough flow. And now all the extra money I have invested into buying the inventory, fixing the issues with the problem, shipping the product into the right country,
having a great customer service, having a team that can actually pay attention to the ads comments. Like, there are a lot of things to prepare to be able to scale a proper brand, like heavy.
Because that might take you like 6 months to do.
Yeah.
But then once you did that, now you already have the confidence that you could scale it. So after 6 months, once you fix the experience, now you actually can scale it, and then it scales in the right way, and the brand doesn't die from that. But then the brand has like this compounding effect where now you scale on one side, so you put more input, more people coming in, but now all the people that come in, they have such a good experience, they love your product, they love your brand, they love the experience, that they tell all their friends about it, that they buy again, and now you have all that extra revenue for free sales that you didn't have before. But it takes that 6 months of like scaling. It's fucking hard to scale it down.
And I would say that it depends also on the brand, because like also for us, like taking 6 months to step back like fully to not push the gas is also like the fear of missing the
opportunity
trend.
Yeah.
It's also it's a real
thing.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
So it's like being disciplined enough to like step back, but also like push at the same time, like both. It needs to go back, but the brand preparation should go up as well.
Got it.
And keep scaling, like bringing it back and fast as much as we can. Like,
and then you can't do anything else anymore, because now you have to not just, because before you do all the marketing things until it works and you spend all day on it, and then once it works, you only probably need to spend 2-3 hours a day. So you could then invest the rest of your day to go party, to sleep in, to, go to restaurants, do what, like have your lifestyle. Or you can spend all of that extra time that you have in a day to actually do all the right boring things to build your brand that you need to stair step it to fill that time. And that makes it really, really hard.
It's really hard.
It's really hard. And then it becomes back to like discipline, and it comes back to your traits of what you actually want to do and where do you actually want to focus and where you actually want to go and what you actually want to grow. And that's where then it separates the people that don't succeed from the people that actually, see it through, make it happen. But then once you do it, it becomes such a reinforcing cycle where like you went through it, you did it. You don't even want to go back to like, the free time, the going out, the doing the bullshit. Then you just want to do more of that. Then it's like, okay, how can I make my brand better? How can I make my brand stronger? And then it's kind of like you get so hooked into that because now it's enjoyable and it's not just this arbitrage of thing. Because now you're working with people. Now you're in contact with people. Now you get feedback from people like, hey, I fixed this. Here's your product. And then people use it and people give you positive. It's like, I fucking love your product. It's so amazing. It's so cool. Up to a point where even like when we work with some of the brands that we work with, they see that the level now where they see their product in the hands of users outside. Mm-hmm. So when they leave their office and go downstairs, or they fly to US and they go to New York and they see people use the product, it's like, oh, that's my product. That's so cool. Like that is fucking cool. Like that's what we want to work towards too, not just the arbitrage short-term money, because that goes away. That feeling, yes, that it becomes normal so quickly.
It's a never-end business model as well, because the trends never stop and you're always hunting for the next product, and it's always the hunt for the next trend, and it's always the new thing and the shiny objects. But yeah, there is also a lot of money on brand and retention and understanding customers and selling them again and going back to the arbitrage and how we will do things differently. Assuming that we find channel market fit, things are going well, we can scale to 100,000 a month, and we will step a little bit back to get ready to get inventory in the country, to get proper customer service, to get feedback from customers, to get proper referrals and customer feedback. And one very important element for that point is NPS. I remember you were talking about it. Maybe you can explain.
One of the most impactful things I think I learned, because NPS is Net Promoter Score. So how it works is, again, surveys. So talking to people kind of works. After someone bought, after they received the product, after they used the product, they already experienced the product, you give them a survey and you say, on a scale from 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend us to a friend? Why that question? If you want to find out if your product is really good, if someone has an amazing experience with your product, they would never recommend a product to their friend that they don't have an amazing experience with. If they have a product that is pretty good, they would never recommend it. But they would only recommend it if it's amazing. And not just the product is amazing, but the whole experience is amazing of what they have. So if you have an amazing product, but it takes a month to ship it, it's not an amazing experience. So you don't recommend it. So then what NPS does is it gives you a score, it gives you a number. So if people score 1 to 1 to 6, we call that a detractor. So those are people that will tell their friends, but they will tell your friends, or they will tell their friends never to buy from you. They will say, this brand sucks, stay away from them, don't buy from them. So they take away from negative word of mouth, they're detracting from your brand. Someone who is 6 or 7 is, they're not going to talk shit about you, but they're never going to promote you as well. They're neutral. Then there's 9 or 10, which is your fans. These are people that says, I fucking love you. I'm going to tell all my friends about you, right? Those is 9 and 10. So what we do is we count all the people that are 1 to 6. We count all the people that are 1 to 10. And we say, okay, we had 50 people that are your promoters, your fans, and you had 30 people that hate your guts. We take 50 minus 30, so we have 20. So your Net Promoter Score is 20. But keep in mind, like 1 to 6 is a much
way more quantity number.
Correct. So that's a much stronger force. So if you take the 50 minus 30, the 30 is already within is already the strength of the volume of the negativity that's already included in that score. So what's also included in that score is if people love your product but they don't like the experience, they will score lower. So what the NPS score gives you, it's a number that you can look at. If it's negative, people hate you and people detract. If it's positive, people like you, and now you have compounding. So if you have a positive number, you have compounding. The higher the positive number is, the more compounding you have. And that number includes all of the experience from your whole brand after customers actually used it. So that is the best indicator to see whether or not you have a good brand. Because if you have a good brand, your NPS score is really high, then you have the highest amount of compounding. So that is the most impactful thing, and how to measure brand, how to measure brand experience, how to measure how good is your brand. That's the number that encapsulates everything you need to know. So that's the most important metric for me to measure when it comes to brand.
Yes. One thing that, from which number would you consider that is a good, which NPS number is a good number to start measuring brand, or what is the metric that people should aim for?
If it's not negative, now you can scale. So the very first, I would never scale a brand that has a negative NPS score, because you're scaling shit. You're compounding negatively. So that's the first baseline, right? If it's 0, that means people don't hate you, and you're neutral. If you place ads, people don't talk shit about
bad
you,
about you, yeah.
Right? Impact that. So that's I would say it's the first line. If you have a score of 50 or more, that's amazing. That's almost the one we had was the adult brand was between 56 and 60. That was fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
If you have 20, that's pretty good. So between 20 and 40, that's the average. So if you're at 40, you can be very, very confident and be okay, people really like this, people can scale. But the effort to go from 40 to 60 is 10 times the effort than to go from 20 to 40. And it's 10 times the effort to go from 20 to 40 than it is to go from 0 to 20. Because you really need to craft that experience of the customer. It goes into everything that you do.
Very interesting. Yeah, I believe that as well.
So that was the most impactful.
Ship fast.
The negative experience of not shipping fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. We scaled too fast. We run out of inventory, and we started getting bad word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And that one slowed down the wholesales for the brand.
And we could actually see that. So before, the brand had 5% in returns, in returns and cancellations. So it's people that bought that then either changed their mind, or they received a product that was faulty and then they canceled it, right? So it's 5%. And during the time where we ran out of stock, it took, to some countries, it took 50 days to ship the product. So when the person orders it, and we were fighting so much about it, you have to ship fast, you have to ship fast. But it's really expensive to ship quickly, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you have heavy products, instead of if you have to air ship, the cost difference from air shipping and sea shipping is $40, air shipping is $150. So it's a massive difference in your profits. It's basically you cut your profits in half. It's huge. So people don't want to do it. But then what happened is that because you can't offer air shipping for the heavy products, they say, okay, we offer sea shipping, but we ship individual units. So if you order your product today, we ship 1 unit by sea to you, and it's going to take 50 days. So that had 2 impacts. One is that the conversion rate went from 1% to 0.75%. So that means 25% fewer people purchased. So if your ads, that means your ads become 25% less effective. That's huge. So instead of a 4 ROAS, now you only have 3 ROAS. That's a big deal. So your acquisition got much, much higher. The second point that happened is that some people bought and they weren't aware that it takes so long. So then these people canceled. So then after a few days, they got emails of your product is on the way, or your product is shipping out, it's going to take this long. Or people didn't know, and after 3 or 4 weeks, they're where the fuck is, they message support, where the fuck is my product? And they're oh yeah, it's on the way, it's going to take another 30 days. And it's no, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna wait that long. People canceled the order. So they cancel and claim the refund. And then of course, if you go to PayPal and say, hey, I ordered a product, it's 2 weeks later, they still haven't even I'm never gonna get this. PayPal will always give you the money back. So that resulted in so many refunds and so much money back that the whole business didn't grow. So it didn't only not grow, it actually shrank. So fewer people bought, and then the return and refund rate went to 15%. So it went from 5 as a standard to 15. So you have 25% fewer people buy, and you have 3 times as many people that refund your product, that means your profit is zero. There's no profit in this. You probably lose money on this. Of course, if you have products on the way already that you shipped, if people cancel and get a refund, you lose the product because the product is gone, and you lose the money. So not only do you lose the revenue, on top of that, you also lose the cost of goods of the product and the shipping costs. You can't make that money back. So, and that was in the, like that issue happened in like the beginning of the highest season. So in that highest season, the brand made no money or even lost money. And that is the season where they normally make all of the money of the year. So that mistake, the not paying the cost because it's too expensive to ship quickly, made them lose all of the money that they could have made the year. Not saying they're not making any more money, but it has a huge impact on the whole business. On top of that's the thing you can measure. And then on top of that, you have all the people that hate you now. That never gonna buy from you again ever. That now buy from your competition. So you are sending sales to your competition. You're promoting your competition that way. They get stronger. And if they have a friend that wants to buy the product as well, they will tell their friend, don't buy from this brand. Don't buy.
You turn them into detractors.
You turn them into detractors. You turn them into haters. Yeah. Horrible. But that's a huge, that was a big lesson learned. Not biting the bullet and paying the money to shipping products fast. Horrible.
That's a very strong.
Huge impact.
Very expensive lesson. That was fast. You asked me, I answered.
That was good. Cool. Let's wrap it up here. I think it's good. We have a good podcast.